Marine Le Pen to withdraw France from NATO's unified military command if she wins.
Here's a summary of the article.
I want France to leave NATO's unified military command. I will never agree that our troops are subordinate to the NATO command or the European command. France should return to the status in the alliance that it had from 1966 to 2009, the French presidential candidate said. National Rally candidate Marine Le Pen has said that if she wins the presidential election, she will withdraw France from NATO's unified military command. Le Pen said that if she is elected, she intends to offer NATO a strategic rapprochement with Russia after the end of the conflict in Ukraine. When hostilities are over, I will propose a strategic rapprochement between NATO and Russia, Le Pen said. She added that the key principles of her foreign policy will be independence, equidistance and constancy.
This post received a score of 53,000, with an upvote ratio of 89%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Didn't they do this once before?
Yes. The French left in 1966 and rejoined in 2009.
Wow, I am kinda shook I didn't know that.
They didn't leave NATO, they left the unified command structure because de Gaulle was pissy about Americans and Brits having too much influence, in his view, within that structure. The move meant that the French military, while still in NATO, would have its own separate command structure. I'm not sure how big of a deal this was in practice. Edit: Je suis un rican stupida.
Greater than I'm not sure how big of a deal this was in practice. In practice, could be looked at through many lenses, including the alternate history idea of the Cold War staying cold. Regarding the diplomatic aspects of NATO or allegiance, it wasn't all that impactful in the end. That measurement is in our post-WW2 reality. It was a turbulent time in many ways and things could have gone 10 different ways.
Didn't France long maintain that, we'll use tactical nukes defensively, and maintaining that option was part of having a purely French command structure?
It's a bit more complicated than that. But yes, that was what's widely considered one of the final blows, for France backing away from NATO unified command a few years before it happened. You're absolutely right. There was a proposed, unified Atlantic nuclear fleet, and de Gaulle, France was already planning their own. Though, this was after the, more important U.S. influence over the Suez Crisis and a discarded, which to de Gaulle was insulting, French proposal for a restructuring, re-examination, of NATO power balance that followed the Suez Crisis.
This is straight up bonkers to me. Explain like I'm 5 how she thinks this will help the election.
Russian money is funding her campaign, and funded her last campaign, 2022, Hungarian bank with ties to Russian puppet Orban, and before. She's a Kremlin puppet, like Orban, like Lukashenko, like Trump.
MTG, Tucker.
Keep magic the guttering out of your F4CKIN mouth HHPPFFFFFH.
I'm going to. You, lil Lumad just smacked the shit out of me.
Whoa dude. It was a Gi Jane joke.
Lol, other countries are trying to join NATO while France will maybe try to leave it.
A victory for Le Pen would jeopardize the security of not only NATO, but all of Europe.
So in other words, we can fully expect Russia to try to meddle with France's election now. Great.
Le Pen is the meddling.
She was in their last election as well.
She did such a good job last time Putin kept her on for another election season.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.